Hello everybody, this is Neil McNulty, re-Indigenizing the digital mind. Today I'm in a very beautiful place. Somewhere I remember as a child coming many times and as a youth. I'm in the beautiful County Donegal, outside Pettigo on Lough Derg. In a very famous place. Famous place since the 12th century. It's a place called St. Patrick's Purgatory on Lough Derg, on Station Island in Lough Derg. And I remember when I was growing up, my mother was an avid, well, she's a Christian woman, a Catholic woman. My mother, who believed a lot in pilgrimage and self-sacrifice and prayer, still does to this day. Well, I heard many stories about St. Patrick's Purgatory, and in a way I have to be honest, with that name it kind of was a bit scary. I heard it when I was in Mass as a young boy, as an altar boy. I heard it from my mother, especially around this time of the year. I don't think it's happening at the minute, but the pilgrimage weekends on Lough Derg, I'm not even sure exactly when they would happen, a vague memory of them, but people would go for spend a couple of nights, or was it one night, and there was a lot of fasting and prayer all night long. And the fasting was also particularly tough. It fascinated me though. It fascinated me a lot. Maybe I could do that. It's kind of like the sense of adventure. Maybe I could go through that. And I did. I'd done it with my mother. I think it was a couple of times. And it was tough. It was hard. But it's a very special place because since the 12th century, this place has been a site of pilgrimage. And people would come here from all over Europe. And if you can see behind me, let me see if we can get it. Up there on the, just over my, my right shoulder, you can see a statue of St. Patrick the Pilgrim. It's a beautiful statue. I'd love to take you up there, and maybe we'll go up there. It was very windy, so otherwise you wouldn't hear me. But that's the man himself, or a statue of the man himself. And this is very important place, I guess, a very apt place to be today because it's Father's Day. And I'm a father myself of an 11-year-old boy. At the minute's in Croatia with his mother. He's not with me, which makes me very sad, especially on a day like this. And as a father, I wish I was with him. I wish I was with him every day. And it's an apt place because this is a place of pilgrimage, and it's a place of St. Patrick. And St. Patrick in many ways is the father of our nation, the nation of Ireland. And he's known all around the world. And there's a lot of myth and legend surrounding the man himself and his life and what he done on this island. A lot of symbolism, a lot of power in that symbolism, but a lot of mythology. In a way, he's a father. He's a father of this nation. Spiritual father. So I guess most people would know him as on St. Patrick's Day on the 17th of March, where people would go out and I guess be part of parades, Irish parades. Also do a lot of drinking and partying, which is another aspect of it which isn't very spiritual at all. But either way, he was the man who converted Ireland to Christianity from its, let's say, its pagan roots, as it was said, its indigenous roots. So it's a bit of tension inside me to think of the man himself, because in many ways I was born Catholic, I am Christian, and in many ways I see myself as a Christian still, but I also have a lot of connections, I guess, and I relate to other religions too, other faiths of this world like Buddhism and Taoism. I like some of their ideas and philosophies and practice. And in the Christian faith, for me, is also been tied up a lot in for many years around the patriarchy. And the patriarchy itself is maybe it's what's caused a lot of problems in this world. in many ways it's been responsible for banishing the feminine in how we relate to the planet, how we relate to our bodies, that feminine energy, the earth itself, and to women who are the embodiment of feminine. So there's a lot to be said around all of that, but I want to honour all the men in my life, all the fathers in my life, all the men who are trying really hard to bring about a rebirth in healthy masculinity, purging some of the wrongs, processing some of the wrongs of the patriarchy, both how it reflects on men in general, but also the impact it had on the feminine and the world and women. So I want to acknowledge that process in men, and right now, as a father, which is also another aspect of the masculine, I find I'm having to make it up a little bit. What it is to be a healthy father, that energy of the father, and the energy also of the responsibilities, collective responsibilities of we men, to rebirth the father, not only to maybe reinvent or reimagine a healthy version of fathering and a healthy version of that energy of guidance, of teaching around about the world, how to engage with the world, our social responsibilities in the world, our responsibilities to maintaining the health of ourselves as men, of our kids, of the women and men, other men in our lives and our community, and of the planet. Because right now the planet is suffering a lot. And also at the time of a masculine rebirth, of healthy masculinity and healthy fathering, we have the process of also re-emergence of strong and healthy feminine energy, which in many ways has been kept down from its very important role in the world. I mean, we need both. Healthy masculinity, healthy femininity are really two aspects of the same unity. It's a relationship, whereas the matriarchy and the patriarchy for me are a separation of that unity, a splitting apart, power over underpowerment. It's been really damaging for humanity and for this planet and all sentient life forms on this planet. So happy Father's Day. Honor the father inside of you. For all you men listening, maybe some of you men aren't fathers right now, want to be fathers. Maybe some of you men have finished your fathering, in a sense of the personal fathering to your children. Some of you men maybe don't want kids at all, and maybe some of that is about what's happened to you and your relationship to your own personal father. Maybe you have a relationship, maybe you don't. And even to the archetype of the father, that energy in all men that's present, how we show up in our lives, how we father in many ways each other, and how we take responsibility to raise healthy kids around us. All the kids, all the young ones, and whether they be human kids or animal kids, that fathering energy, that archetype energy is very much present. My uncle, and I know many men around here who are farmers and who have fathered many, many generations of animals, cattle and pigs. I have a real deep connection to that and their role in that and the responsibility they take to raise those animals, even if the end result of that is too much driven towards profit and gain. But also that is part of living too, life and death. So right now there may be a lot of confusion and fear for a lot of us men, around the meaning of fathering. What does that mean? What does that mean for us? What does that even mean in our lives? I know a lot of men who are deeply shamed and feel a deep sense of guilt around their fathering and self-blaming, and it really does not serve each of us to blame and self-blame and point fingers at each other. You're not doing a good job, you should be better. There's a lot of perfectionism, projection around fathering and how you're doing it wrong, and unfortunately a lot of that energy does come from women. But this video is not about what women are doing wrong, and quite often even men I know try to push that energy back on women. It's not about pointing the fingers or returning the energy towards women. This is not about blaming women. This is about taking responsibility and not taking other people's projections personally. Even if we as men need to watch our personal space and watch our boundaries with each other and our relationships to women. We need to take personal responsibility to support each other, to love each other, to know that yes, there has been a lot of trauma perpetrated in the world by men, by the patriarchy, and many of us men have been drawn into that and been responsible and perpetrators of the patriarchy. But as individual men, we have individual souls, and we're also traumatized. So it doesn't serve that we dig that all up. Yes, we can speak to it healthily with good boundaries, open our ears, listen to what women have to say, listen to what we have to say, share those experiences, try our best not to take it personal, and just look at what we can do from that place, how we can support, how we can love, nourish, teach each other and ourselves a new healthy form of fathering. Engage in that conversation, not letting fear get in the way. Walk through your fear. And a good way to do that is really acknowledging that as men together, sitting around circles. I've done this many times with many men, and I can tell you on my own, it feels isolating, a lot more fear, a lot more shame. But with a group of men sharing similar stories, there's a power there. And we men need to circle up again, because this patriarchal sense of separation, mano a mano, this self-made man nonsense bullshit, no need for it. We're stronger together, we're stronger in conversation. There's more power there for us men to be in conversation together. There's more power to share and gather our resources, support each other. And even with the backlash that's happening in the world, and there is a backlash not only in the biosphere, in the planet, in the deep feminine, we need to be able to stand up to that. Take care of ourselves, yes, and each other. But say, okay, we can listen to that. We can support that backlash. And we can rebuild, reimagine, put our power into fathering, into protecting the edges, the boundaries, making things safe for the feminine energy to do what it does, which is a beautiful, creative, explosive, nurturing, growth-orientated energy that supports all life. We, as men, bring our own gifts and our own power and our own imagination, and watch the boundaries, keep it safe, be vigilant, strong. And I don't mean strong in the sense of that patriarchal sense of macho strong. I mean strong with our emotional response, strong with with our vision and clarity, clear communication, understand the messages we give out in the world, taking responsibility for the consequences of those messages, but not carry the burden which we've carried for a long time, and that burden which is buried myself and a lot of men, of doing it on our own, you know, without support. And also as a man of 46 and a father myself, a while ago now, I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago, I stepped away from projecting onto my own father, my own personal father. Understanding with compassion, he was a man of his time. Maybe I judged that he didn't do enough, he could have stood up more, but I also know how scary that place is when you feel you're on your own with no support, and very much in that wounded, traumatized child energy, which quite often can allow myself as a man to hide or react with strong, protective, predatory energy. Well, we have an opportunity now. We don't need to project on our fathers and how good a job or bad job they did, because that just keeps the cycle going. We need to take personal responsibility, circle up, find men, study this, read up on it, have those conversations, speak about your feelings, take a risk, be vulnerable, show your vulnerability, because vulnerability is strength. It took me a long time to realise that, and opening myself up and being vulnerable. And I took a lot of hits, and I took it very personal, and I feel very wounded or re-traumatised. But with the support of a lot of loving men, a lot of loving fathers I know in my life, they've helped me step into my power where I take things less personal. I'm not easy shaken from my path. I speak my mind, I speak my heart, I show my vulnerability. And I think now people respond, they see my vulnerability as a power. It's a power, a really, really strong power. It's not something to be taken advantage on or predated on. So whatever that power is for you as a man and as a father, know that power inside yourself, and know there are men who can support you there. My work with the Mankind Project, something I am planned to bring back around this area of men's circles. And there are men meeting in other different ways. There's the men's sheds. There's lots of different healthy masculine gatherings happening. Find those out. The Mankind Project is something I believe in, something I'll create here, and hopefully other men will come. And they will come, because we need it, all of us. I also work for a band of brothers now in Ireland, which is helping disenfranchised young men or late teens, early 20s, who are really deeply troubled right now, who need fathering, who need mentoring. And there's another word associated with fathering, mentoring. Yeah, mentoring. Not something I had a lot of growing up, and I don't think I had any. At least not in a felt sense that I knew it was present. Like a band of brothers who've been working now from the UK for quite a while. They've done incredible work at mentoring young men, allowing them to step in their power, feeling they're part of a brotherhood, and a healthy brotherhood. Not secret men's clubs, very open men's community. To help them step into their power and bring beauty and strength and creativity and imagination into this world, which we need so badly right now. To make these changes, my personal feeling is, don't be drawn in to the patriarchal lies and deceit and power mongering and fear mongering. Stay away from the digital media as much as you can. Focus your energies on what you want to learn from it. But it will open you up and drag you into fear-based patterns, re-traumatize, and lead you into a place of powerlessness where you feel you can't make a difference. The thing is, you can make a difference, but in your local community, around, find men, find resources that can help you step into your power, and many are right now, and I hope that continues. I really do. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and all the The men who father in many different ways, not just with their own personal children, their own progeny, but also men who father in communities as leaders, spiritual leaders, as mentors to young men and women. Men who father themselves on a daily basis, navigating those rough waters of pain and suffering. Leading themselves. We just don't need to lead on our own. We don't. It's a beautiful thing to be mentored and to be open to be mentored. It's taken me a long time to get there, but now I'm here and I'm willing to mentor others, and I have been doing that for years, with softness, compassion, but also with strength, power, good boundaries, healthy communication. It's all possible. So, from me in St. Patrick's Purgatory with the St. Patrick statue behind me, the pilgrim. We're all pilgrims on this earth. We're all on our personal journeys. But being pilgrims together, we can support each other. And I'm going to end this video now. And I wish you a beautiful day, the rest of the day. And I'm going to show you St. Patrick's Purgatory behind me, the place I went as a teenager on a journey and adventure. It was tough, but it'll always stick with me. I found myself there, and I really hope you find yourself in your life and around others. Take that risk. Feel that tension inside that makes you, that generates a need to speak to someone, to open up, to voice, to connect. Follow that. Follow your gut. Follow and trust that vulnerability. Magic happens there. So let's just see the island. Go around the corner. Just follow me. So there's the boat. It takes you to the island. Powerful place. So this is Neil, re-Indigenizing the digital mind. Subscribe if you wish. Share and comment, please. I'll catch you all again soon. Have a lovely day.